Hello, greetings, and welcome back to Hardcore Mars Survival. In our first day, we established our starting base and produced our first kelp crisp, but we're not stable yet. Today we need to create enough food supply to last us through the day and the night. We can start by completing our static algae farms and then getting them all networked to that food processor. All we need now is a row of conveyors to network this system together. Well, let's get that complete. Using some broad strokes, I can estimate how much food I'll need to survive a full day and night cycle. One kelp crisp will restore about 12 nutrition, and that's about 5.5 minutes or so apiece. If I just kept these algae farms online and had maximum production all day, I could create one kelp crisp about every 4 minutes. Our day is 1 hour long, so I can make 15 kelp crisps in one solar cycle. At that rate, and without any additional subsistence, I will starve to death. This is also assuming that I don't lose productivity due to solar obstruction or power loss or weather storm event. I don't want to stop with the minimum. I want to keep going with more food production to increase my food buffer and continue to collect through the day. Next, I'm going to build a solar tracker system outfitted with more algae farms to maximize their output and increase overall production. I can extend it vertically, and it should sit somewhere around here. Solar tracking systems are easily made with the custom turret controller. We need to use an advanced rotor, hinge, custom turret controller, and a camera to make this system work. The advanced rotor is essential because it allows the passage of items through its conveyor ports. Without this block, our solar tracking array will not be tied to our conveyor network. We can queue up these blocks and all the additional components we'll need for these algae farms in the basic assembler and let it construct while we lay out the foundation for this solar tracker. A quick column of conveyor junctions here on the side will give me some clearance from the rest of the base for the solar tracker to move. First, the advanced rotor will give us a base to rotate on. This will be the azimuth direction, like a compass. Next, the hinge will give us an angle to point at the sun as it passes overhead. This is our elevation direction. Next, I can build a spire of conveyors and place all the algae farms on either side. With just these two joints, we can track the sun easily. These 8 extra will be more effective at producing algae throughout the day. We just need to get the build up and tracking first. Well, so much for up. And now my hinge has fallen over, so my new array is blocking my previous algae farm production. But I can fix that. If I can move the hinge or the rotor, this new array should be out of the way. Hinges and rotors can't have locks or limits placed on their rotation, even in an unbuilt state. Manually adjusting these settings through the control panel can put these blocks into a desirable position even before they are completed. Okay, rotor done. Labeling your functional blocks is important to keep track of every grid and subgrid. Placing a few blocks in a build and labeling the incomplete additional pieces can help keep track of the functional block and their location without the use of mods. Move, move, move. And stop. Even without this conveyor network complete, I can build new algae farms and get them growing for me. And now the sun's directly overhead, so I've got no algae production. Great. What did I need for that camera? A remote control? Nope. Okay, tech tree go. Camera. Oh, battery. Okay, new priority. I just need a couple of these power cells, and I should have everything else. building a small grid, small battery to unlock the technology tree will result in the fastest path for progression with the least amount of waste. Power cells are not usually recoverable from a block and will result in scrap when removed with a grinder. And now I have a camera. One for that rover for reverse for later, and one for my tracker.
Inbound.
Okay, I've made several trips for ore collection today to feed my refinery, and while I wait for my radiation exposure to reduce, I can take a trip for a special ore, cobalt. Cobalt's a gateway material that you're going to need to make metal grids. This component's required for our next important block, the assembler. The assembler can construct even more components for us, even faster than the basic assembler. And it's got the ability to queue components by block instead of just by the individual component piece. Meaning, I can tell it to build a cargo container, and it will just queue all of the components that requires. This is a must-have. Cobalt takes a while to process in the basic refinery, so it's a good thing we don't need much of it for right now. I can reorganize the ore in the refinery and have it chew through cobalt after it does whatever else I need right now. Mostly iron. Those turbines are moving awfully slow. That's a lot of red on the algae farms. I must be in a calm weather event. There's not enough power for the farms to grow. I hope there's enough food in there. Yes. Just one will do for now. Okay. Next crisis. Power. Let's just queue up some more components for another wind turbine and get some stone. This rover is going to save our butts again. During this calm weather, it's back to square one of our survival plan. The respawn rover is still able to collect stone and produce components independent of my base. Without a battery on the base to carry my power demands, the rover becomes my only source of survival again. And turbine up. Ow. All green. Good enough. I need to get the food production done, and daylight is burning. Let's get this solar tracker online. Right back over the farms, because that hinge isn't done yet. Just a few more blocks here, and one more farm. So I can manipulate the hinge and the rotor. Move the hinge and the rotor into a good position. Good enough. And turret controller back on. Ha! Finally. I hope that's enough sun time remaining for food production. My nutrition's still quite low, and I don't have anything in the way of backup yet. I have a small boon to my food supply from the algae farms that have just been connected to the food processor. With the solar tracker online, it can make the most out of the remaining evening sun. With the urgent task of getting more food production secured, I can shift my attention to a bit of exploration while the sun sets. I've got a few kelp crisps, so I can eat those while I'm out to search for more ore. Ooh, and there's an encounter signal over there. I will meander that way while I search for ore. Planetary encounters are a recent addition to the game. They offer a potential source of advanced resources and food. There's also a possibility that the encounter is armed and will defend itself. Interacting with an encounter may cause it to activate and become hostile. Always be on the lookout for traps, turrets, and drones. Definitely a turret. Please don't look at me. See if we can't get under it, and let's get away from the other turret as well. The big turret doesn't look like it's going to hit me. Not that I'm going to trust it. Take this down. Now that I've alerted the ship, it's probably going to try to shoot at me. Maybe you've got some food? Don't care for timer blocks doing their things. Light, you can chill out. Bed, awesome. Got anything on you? Got some money. Lockers. We'll take these lockers down. Power kit's not the worst. Bookshelf, what you got for me? Looking for food. Yeah. 46, that's pretty good. Unknown meal pack. Awesome. And I can see what else is in here. Yep, there's that turret there. Can I get to you from a different location? Oh, this is a large cargo container. Definitely want to get to that. Let's do this turret. I cannot allow you to exist. Don't shoot at me. Okay. I fell into a little bit of a hole here. Okay. And then there's a little turret around here. I see you. Goodbye. Take that magazine. Oh, a reactor? Ooh, 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 what an amazing find. This whole ship is amazing, actually. And now that we've got the area secure, it's time for a ship review. It's a wrecked hopper. This transport ship has seen better days since its belly flopped on Mars. Presumably a local transport, this hopper is mostly equipped with atmospheric thrusters. With only the one large hydrogen thruster in the rear and no jump drive, the best range you could hope for is around Mars and maybe to Europa. It's got a small pressurized cabin for some amenities on board to support the pilot and transport its freight in this one large cargo container. It had limited defense capabilities with these two turrets, but those are gone now, so we can work safely around the ship. It's a bit rusted out, but I give this ship a 7 out of 10. Ship review. I kind of want to restore it. Is that the wrong thing to do? I think it's an absolutely amazing endeavor to do. So I can always claim the grid and then come back to it. I think I will do just that. And then this grid, I'm definitely going to claim this. Mine. Wrecked hopper. Mine now. And then we can clean up these little bits. And then I can just come back and forth to you later. Because I think that's an absolutely amazing find for our first. Too generous, like I was saying. Too generous. But we're going to restore it. Need to work on this vehicle a lot more too. And a victory meal. With a long-term project on the docket and a handful of goodies, I can return to the base. The sun has set, and my food production for the day has capped, but with a few choice meals from the crashed hopper, I should be set for the night. Next, I'm going to upgrade the base again. I need to connect my food production to my basic industry, and that can be done easily with a couple of upgrades. The O2H2 generator, and an assembler, and a couple of cargo containers will do me. Let's get those in the works. That stable coming across H2 O2 generator would get me ample amounts of oxygen. And then 2 blocks for an assembler. I'm liking that. Then I can put another cargo container down, really. That'll pipe everything through. Enough fiddling with the base. Time to do something more important. My ability to collect and traverse the terrain are limited by the rover at the moment. So I could either upgrade it for mining and transportation or build something new. I think it's got a couple of loads left in its dear heart. I need to invest a bit of time and materials to get a faster rover that can enable greater collection per trip. I think we can do a little life extension for it. Let's get... I could really just do with the piston to lift it up and take care of all this. Having a plan in place before you build can save you time. However, some modifications don't always sit well with the existing frame of a vehicle. I can keep this one in the rear, replace the survival kit with another one, build outward from there, and then place another 2 cargo containers on the outside, giving me 6 in total. Building numerous blocks close together can cause your creation to look like a brick, which is specifically what I'm trying to avoid with my creations. After that, I can just push the wheels back a little bit and double them up to add power for all this extra mass I'm going to try to carry. Let's give it a shot. Building a wide wheelbase will increase your stability when driving and making quick turns sharply. However, you leave the underside of your vehicle more susceptible to the terrain you pass over. Making a taller vehicle to compensate for this with extra elevation increases the height offset of your mass. This can cause your vehicle to be less controllable and prone to falling over. There's always a trade-off for any design, and compromises must be made, especially when modifying an existing vehicle to perform a new task. Awesome. And now we just need to drop this top in here. And we do have the parking on. I think they're like default base gray. You 3s? Oh, you're 2. You're 2 too. You're also a 2? Oh, how did I mess that up? 3's on one side, 2's on another. Put you back up on stilts to fix you. Or I could just roll you over again. Let's go. I don't want you left like this, rover. Get you rolled back over. Now that I've upgraded my rover with more cargo and a connector for faster offloading, I can modify the base to make it compatible as well. I'm going to add a connector to the base and extend a platform a bit to make level docking with the rover more reliable. With the addition of a remote control facing the rear of the vehicle, I can drive backwards just as easily as I can forwards. Configuring my vehicle and remote control toolbars in a similar manner will allow me to dock and undock easily. Let's do our battery and recharge on off, and then a connector, recharge on off, or recharge switch lock, and then we can do our remote here as a 5 to control, actually control it, and then back into the G menu, camera, view, connector, switch lock, battery, recharge on off, and parking brake. and brake on off. That way we can see forward and backwards the same things. Alright, now if we do reverse, we can just reverse, reverse, turn the parking brake off, back up ever so gently, and we should be... Oh, I think I just exploded something. Or maybe it was just a violent tick. Get this connected up, and we're done with that benchmark. I think that's a great place to stop. I can sleep in the cockpit for now. It's going to need some lights and some other little things to make the rover just a little bit better. Right before I end up having to rebuild purpose-built, or to build purpose-built vehicles for my needs. We got our base pretty much in a sustainable point. Next thing I'm going to do is establish a giant mine somewhere. That way I can start collecting a lot of resources. And ideally I automate all this so I don't have to keep boring myself with a boring task such as boring a hole. And then that is going to be over an actual resource node. So one of these white patches here in the distance. That way I can collect those minerals and then start transporting them to wherever I'm going to have my facilities laid out for refining and everything else. So I'll have some city planning to do too. And with that said, go forth and build great things. See you then.